Hello everyone, Raging Geek back with more tips for Warzone as well as multiplayer as a whole. Today we are going to delve into my favorite selection of loadouts, why I use them, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Let's talk tactics. Let's start with the heart of the build, the perks. These are going to be the foundation of a loadout and will largely inform the choices you make in other places. You can of course adapt these choices to fit your objective, but these are the ones that I run with a majority of the time. For perk 1, I almost always run Cold-Blooded. The raw advantage of being untargetable by AI and thermals makes it the best bang for the buck out of all of the perk 1 options. Other items I might consider here is Double Time if you're looking for a blitz style play, EOD if your opponents are using a lot of explosives, and Scavenger if you're playing a dirty camping build. For slot 2, I almost always take Overkill to give me a second primary. This gives me more powerful tactical options than limiting myself to handguns, rockets, or melee weapons. In loadouts where I equip a launcher or pistol, then I'll swap in Ghost, taking me out of sight of UAV and Heartbeat. If you happen to encounter two loadout drops in a Warzone, you can mix the two loadouts and end up with a Ghost and your dual primaries, so it is definitely a good idea to at least have one loadout that features Ghost. For slot 3, I lean towards Tracker, and occasionally Spotter depending on how tricky my opponents are. The extra visibility on what your enemies are doing or where they are is instrumental to my tactical and mobile playstyle. You might consider Shrapnel if you need a little extra boom to clear out stubborn campsites or shields. When it comes to grenades, it's hard to go wrong with your lethal selection. C4 is clearly the community favorite, placeable on surfaces, effective against shields, and triggerable on a key press. It's a very versatile weapon. The downside being that there's a delay in tossing and detonating it, it has a highly visible flashing light, and its large size can make landing it right where you want it problematic. My current favorite is the Thermite. It sticks to a target, damages equipment like sentry guns, IFVs, and shielded enemies easily, and can make an effective area denial option as well by sticking it to a flag or in a doorway to force enemies to take another approach. Molotov cocktails are also an impressive counter shield tool, with Claymore and Prox mines being useful for setting up a campsite or making a cheeky trap after you've long departed an area. The throwing knife is a highly effective tool for quick instant kills and is a perennial favorite of the shield user. Simtex is good in some scenarios, but largely C4 would be the better option here. While frag grenades are seldom seen, but very effective if you can manage the art of cooking grenades. To cook a grenade, simply hold the throw button long enough to ensure a near instantaneous detonation, and you can surprise your enemies. Be careful though, holding it too long and you can blow yourself up, and hold it too short and the enemy can throw the nade right back in your face. When it comes to tactical, all the tools have a benefit. It really depends on your strategy on which one to bring. When it comes to Warzone, it's almost always best to bring the heartbeat sensor. People running Ghost perk as described before can make them invisible on the scope, but enough people don't run Ghost to make it still a very effective tool. It's hard to recommend it, however, for multiplayer, where combat is more dynamic and the opportunity that the sensor provides you is fleeting. Gas grenades are great for area denial. It forces mounted enemies off their mount points and disrupts their ability to aim down sights. Decoy grenades I enjoy using, though it's very rare that they are effective. When they are, it's entertaining to catch the enemy looking where they shouldn't and drop them. Stim is great to start your regeneration after taking damage, and replenishes your tactical sprint, which makes you able to cross distances faster or evacuate an area. Snapshot grenades give you vision in areas that you aren't directly in line of sight of and can be handy to scout an area prior to moving into the space. This foreknowledge can help secure kills and increase survivability. Smoke grenades can be handy especially if you're running thermals, as you'll be able to cut through the smoke and kill enemies within or without it while obscuring the enemy's vision of your position. Flashes are handy as long as the enemy isn't running battle hardened or doesn't look away quickly, but often if choosing between flash and stun, I take stun every time. The ability to disrupt an opponent, making aiming difficult and slowing their movement, is way more useful than short-term blindness in a majority of cases. Now to the real teeth of a build, the weapons. For the Warzone, I primarily run a Growl with a 26.4-inch Archangel barrel for range, Tactical Suppressor for stealth, Tac Laser for ADS buff, Solo Zero NVG Enhanced for best thermals in the game, and a Merc foregrip to help with stability. I'll sometimes swap out the Tac Laser for the 60-round mag, but there's already a ton of ADS slowdown with using this thermal scope, so anything you can do to limit that, the better. For my second gun, I run an MP5 using the Monolithic Suppressor for stealth and stability, Tac Laser again for the speed, Solo Zero NVG Enhanced again for thermal vision, Merc foregrip for stability, and the 45-round mag to keep the gun fed in a firefight. These guns have proven their salt in the Warzone with plenty of wins behind them, so it's rare to see me in the zone, not running these guns. The important thing in any situation is picking the guns that mesh with your playstyle. I'm a player that favors mid to close range encounters, so I will favor submachine guns and assault rifles, with some dabbling in the DMR and shotgun scene. Snipers and LMGs have long swap times and often longer ADS times, so I avoid them. And pistols usually lack the stopping power needed without dumping entire clips into people unless you're playing on hardcore. Once you've settled on your weapon of choice, my biggest recommendation for players is to pick up the Tac Laser. It's an easy slot add that provides a huge buff in aim down sight speed. In multiplayer, ADS is king. The faster you can sight in, the more likely you'll be on target and ready to shoot before your opponent. ADS is less important in the Warzone where the battlefield is larger and the opportunities to limit surprise is greater. You'll find me using the Tac Laser and stippled grip tape in lots of scenarios where I want that ADS advantage. Thanks for watching. I hope these tips prove successful in increasing your potential in the Warzone and in multiplayer. If you have a favorite weapon build, comment below. Maybe I'll feature it in a future stream on my Warzone Wednesdays every 9:30 p.m. Central at www.twitch.tv/raginggeek, or in a future Loadout build video. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more content from us, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so that you can know the next time we publish a video. Have a great day, and see you in the zone.